They say the Wild West was full of gunslingers, dusty saloons, and dramatic standoffs at high noon. But how much of that is true, and how much is just Hollywood myth? In this video, we're counting down the top 20 most historically accurate Westerns ever made. Films that don't just entertain, but bring the real American frontier to life. From dusty cattle drives and brutal Civil War raids to the building of the Transcontinental Railroad, these movies capture the grit, the hardship, and the untold stories of the Old West like never before. Some are classics. Others might surprise you. So saddle up and stick around until the very end. You just might discover a Western you've never seen before. If you enjoy history and great cinema, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more top lists just like this. Now let's dive into the most authentic Westerns ever put on film. 20th place, Ride with the Devil, 1999. Directed by Ang Lee, Ride with the Devil explores the chaos of guerrilla warfare along the Missouri-Kansas border during the American Civil War. It follows a group of Southern bushwhackers, including Tobey Maguire as a young German-American and Jeffrey Wright as a freed slave, caught in a brutal, morally complex conflict. The film is notable for its historical accuracy, from period-accurate costumes and dialects to the raw depiction of violent, neighbor-against-neighbor conflict. Avoiding Western cliches, it instead paints war as deeply personal and unpredictable. One of its most chilling moments is the realistic portrayal of Quantrill's raid on Lawrence, Kansas. With powerful performances and a commitment to authenticity, this film stands out as one of the most detailed and honest portrayals of Civil War-era turmoil ever brought to the screen. 19th place, Appaloosa, 2008. In the rough, wide-open lands of the 1880s New Mexico Territory, two seasoned lawmen arrive in the town of Appaloosa to bring justice where lawlessness reigns. Hired to deal with a violent rancher who has the town under his thumb, they must walk the line between enforcing order and surviving the frontier's brutal realities. But when a mysterious widow arrives, personal tensions begin to unravel their bond and complicate their mission. Directed by and starring Ed Harris, with Viggo Mortensen as his loyal partner, Appaloosa stands out for its authentic portrayal of Old West justice. The film's measured pacing, formal period-style dialogue, and accurate frontier atmosphere reflect a deep respect for historical detail. Avoiding Hollywood glamour, it offers a grounded, character-driven story that captures the uncertainty and danger of taming a lawless land. 18th place, Open Range, 2003. Kevin Costner's Open Range takes us to Montana in 1882 as free-range cattlemen led by boss spearman Robert Duvall and Charlie Waite, Costner, clash with a corrupt rancher controlling a small town. Costner scouted remote, undeveloped landscapes for authenticity, an open-air canvas that lets the silent rhythms of camp life resonate before a breathtaking final shootout. Praised for its real-time action, Open Range delivers one of cinema's most intense gunfights and won the 2004 Western Heritage Award. Roger Ebert noted how it captures core Western values, justice, loyalty, and soul-searching. With stellar performances from Costner, Duvall, and Annette Bening, it's a modern classic that honors 19th-century life with reverence, discipline, and cinematic beauty. 17th place, Bad Company, 1972. Robert Benton's debut Bad Company turns Western myth on its head in post-Civil War America. It follows draft dodger Drew, Barry Brown, and outlaw Jake, Jeff Bridges, as they drift westward, caught between survival and conscience. Shot by Gordon Willis, the film employs gritty realism, muddy landscapes, crude violence, ragged clothing, eschewing romantic tropes. Critics and historians praise its found footage, authenticity, and revisionist storytelling, a tale of moral erosion, chance violence, and frontier disillusionment. Jeff Bridges and Brown offer naturalistic, compelling performances that underscore the uncertain morality of men pushed by war and survival. Bad Company remains a shadowy gem, a Western that recoils from legend in favor of something far more honest and human. 16th place, Ulzana's Raid, 1972. Directed by Robert Aldrich, Ulzana's Raid plunges viewers into the brutal reality of an 1885 Apache breakout across the Arizona-New Mexico frontier. When the renegade leader Ulzana, Joaquin Martinez, escapes the reservation with a small war party, a young, idealistic cavalry lieutenant, Garnett DeBuin, Bruce Davison, is dispatched in pursuit, guided by weather-beaten scout McIntosh, Burt Lancaster. Filmed on stark desert locations, the story strips away sentimentality to show the exhaustion, terror, and moral ambiguity of a campaign where atrocities mount on both sides. Critics praised Aldrich's matter-of-fact violence and the film's Vietnam-era subtext, calling it one of the most unflinching and historically grounded examinations of the Indian Wars ever made. 15th place, The Big Trail, 1930. An ambitious epic for its time, The Big Trail follows a massive wagon train as it journeys from the Mississippi River to the Oregon frontier. Starring a young John Wayne in his first leading role, the film was shot in widescreen and on real locations across the American West, an extraordinary technical feat in 1930. It portrays the physical challenges of westward expansion with documentary-like authenticity, crossing rivers, scaling mountains, and enduring the hardships of the trail. Director Raoul Walsh aimed to depict settler life as it truly was, and the film features accurate wagons, tools, and period costuming. Its large-scale reenactment of pioneer migration avoids the glamorization often found in later westerns. For its sheer scope and attention to detail, The Big Trail remains one of the earliest and most historically accurate depictions of America's push westward. 14th place, The Alamo, 2004. This version of The Alamo, directed by John Lee Hancock, set out to strip away myth and tell the story of the legendary 1836 battle with hard historical realism. From the reconstruction of San Antonio de Bexar to the gritty presentation of military tactics, the film is loaded with authentic detail. The characters, including Davy Crockett, William B. Travis, and Sam Houston, are portrayed not as icons but as flawed, complex individuals. Especially bold is its portrayal of Crockett's death, which challenges the heroic legends and instead aligns with controversial historical accounts. Every uniform, musket, and fort wall was crafted to mirror real historical records. While it received mixed reviews for pacing, its dedication to portraying the Alamo as a desperate, tragic stand, rather than a fantasy, makes this one of the most honest and accurate depictions of early Texas history. 13th place, Geronimo, An American Legend, 1993. Telling the story of the legendary Apache leader's final campaign, Geronimo, An American Legend offers a more balanced and respectful portrayal than most Westerns before it. With Wes Studi in the title role, the film emphasizes Geronimo's motivations, his resistance to broken treaties, loss of land, and the cultural erosion of his people. Directed by Walter Hill, the story unfolds through the eyes of a young cavalry officer, allowing for a layered perspective on the U.S. military's campaign. The production consulted native advisors to ensure cultural accuracy, and many scenes were filmed in authentic southwestern locations. Costuming, language use, and military tactics closely reflect the 1880s. While it dramatizes some moments, the film stands out for humanizing a man long misrepresented in American pop culture and for depicting the complexities of resistance and surrender with rare historical depth and integrity. 12th place, The Gunfighter, 1950. The Gunfighter tells the story of Jimmy Ringo, a weary, infamous gunslinger trying to escape his past and settle into a quiet life. But his reputation follows him wherever he goes, drawing young challengers eager to make a name by killing him. Played with somber intensity by Gregory Peck, Ringo is not a glorified hero but a tragic figure trapped by his own legend. Set in a realistic frontier town and written with unusually literate dialogue, the film rejects typical Western tropes. Costumes, weapons, and even Ringo's distinctive mustache reflect the time period with surprising care for 1950. More importantly, its themes, fame, violence, regret, mirror the actual consequences faced by real gunslingers of the era. As one of the first adult Westerns, it's both a powerful drama and a historically conscious look at the burden of infamy in the Old West. 11th place. Monty Walsh, 1970. Monty Walsh follows an aging cowboy at the twilight of the American West, as railroads, ranch consolidation, and a changing economy begin to erase the open-range lifestyle. Lee Marvin plays the title character with quiet strength and sadness, portraying a man out of step with a modernizing world. Unlike traditional shoot-'em-ups, the film focuses on everyday cowboy life, breaking broncos, branding cattle, and drifting between jobs. It was shot entirely on location in Arizona and features authentic gear, weathered costumes, and historically accurate working practices. The slow, contemplative pacing reflects the fading rhythm of the frontier itself. With a tone that's both elegiac and grounded, Monty Walsh stands as a heartfelt tribute to a real, vanishing way of life. One not built on legends, but on labor, loneliness, and quiet dignity. Its history told not through battles, but through the passing of time. 10th place. Shane, 1953. Set in 1889 Wyoming, Shane follows a drifting gunfighter who becomes embroiled in a conflict between tough homesteaders and wealthy cattlemen. As he helps a farming family defend their land, the story unfolds through the eyes of young Joey, bringing a poignant human scale to a classic Western showdown. The production brought in historian Joe DeYoung as technical advisor, ensuring that wagons, livestock, clothing, and props looked lived-in and era-accurate. The film's restrained pacing, natural dialogue, and rugged environments lend it a grounded authenticity. Its climactic confrontation feels earned, not choreographed. By capturing the tensions of the Johnson County War and reflecting the evolving frontier ethics, Shane stands as a masterclass in historically authentic storytelling, making it a deserving entry in this top 20 list. 9th place. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, 2007. This haunting character study examines the final months of notorious outlaw Jesse James, portrayed by Brad Pitt, and the young admirer-turned-killer Robert Ford. Shot in desaturated tones and at a deliberate pace, the film recreates 1880s Missouri and the weariness of outlaw life with attention to period architecture, uniforms, and railroad details. Director Andrew Dominic leans into historical realism, showing James as complex and fragile, rather than a mythic hero or villain. The relationship between James and Ford is textured, underscoring the psychological toll of fame and betrayal. The film's dedication to cultural and temporal authenticity, down to newspapers, telegraphs, and train travel, makes it feel like a window into real events, not just legend. 8th place. Tombstone, 1993. Tombstone dramatizes the famous 1881 gunfight at the OK Corral, following Wyatt Earp, his brothers, and Doc Holliday. Though dramatized, the film incorporates actual names, places, and the complex motivations behind Wyatt's transition from lawman to vengeance seeker. Attention to weaponry, Civil War-era uniforms, and the appearance of Tombstone itself give the setting gritty credibility. The shootout sequence, which features frequent empty chambers and slow-loading rifles, reflects real firearm limitations. The performances, especially Kurt Russell as Earp and Val Kilmer as Holiday, ground their legendary personas in psychological realism. By focusing on character over spectacle, Tombstone honors its historical roots while delivering a cathartic portrayal of frontier justice. 7th place, Little Big Man, 1970. Adapted from a novel and directed by Arthur Penn, Little Big Man follows a white man raised by the Cheyenne who then reintegrates with American society. Through satirical and tragic vignettes, it chronicles pivotal moments like Custer's last stand and the transformation of native settler relations. The film balances black humor with brutal realism. Native speeches include untranslated Cheyenne, and the cavalry is shown as bureaucratic invaders, not heroic saviors. Filmed on authentic plains landscapes and featuring genuine indigenous perspectives, it avoids romantic tropes. Its revisionist outlook, mixing laughter with historical empathy, provides one of the most culturally honest Westerner counter-narratives of its era. 6th place, McCabe and Mrs Miller, 1971. Robert Altman's anti-Western is set in a gritty, rain-drenched boom town circa 1902 in the Pacific Northwest. It tells the story of a gambler and a brothel madam who form an uneasy partnership until outside interests and violence intrude. Shot in real snow and rain with natural lighting and era-appropriate steam engines, the film refuses Hollywood gloss. Its sepia-tinted palette and snow-covered church shootout break from Western imagery to reflect economic exploitation and corporate encroachment. Themes rooted in turn-of-the-century frontier history. The performances, Warren Beatty and Julie Christie, are understated, letting setting and mood convey authenticity. Its mood of decay, capitalism, and unease captures a transitional moment in Western history seldom portrayed on film. 5th place, The Culpepper Cattle Co, 1972. Set in 1866, this gritty coming-of-age story follows teenaged Ben Mockridge, who joins Frank Culpepper's cattle drive, dreaming of glory only to collide with the harsh facts of frontier labor. Director Dick Richards shoots in dust-blown New Mexico locations, bathing every frame in sweat, mud, and gun smoke. Cowboys ride unadorned McClellan saddles, speak in subdued, period-flavored idioms, and wear sweat-stained wool and canvas instead of movie-bright costumes. Conflicts erupt over trespass and cattle rustling, not melodramatic villains. Every gunshot feels accidental rather than heroic. Although eagle-eyed historians spot a few post-1870 firearms, the film's overall texture, grease-blackened skillets, fly-blown chuck wagons, and bone-tired horses, creates a near-documentary portrait of cowhand life. By stripping away myth and sentiment, the Culpepper Cattle Company delivers one of cinema's most sobering, authentic looks at the real work of the open range. 4th place, Cimarron, 1931. Based on Edna Ferber's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, Cimarron begins during the Oklahoma land rush of 1889 and spans several decades, chronicling the rise of a frontier town and the people who shape it. The land rush sequence, featuring hundreds of riders and wagons thundering across open plains, remains one of the most ambitious scenes in early Hollywood. The film explores major historical themes: westward expansion, settler colonialism, and the growth of American industry. It reflects 1930s perspectives but doesn't shy away from depicting greed, lawlessness, and social inequality. Though dated in places, its use of historically accurate sets, costuming, and events anchors it in real American history. As one of the earliest epic westerns to tackle broad social change, Cimarron earns its place for blending storytelling with genuine historical depth. Third place. Brigham Young, 1940. This lesser-known Western follows the Mormon exodus from Illinois to Utah, led by Brigham Young after the death of Joseph Smith. The film covers their hardships during the westward migration and their efforts to build a new society in the Salt Lake Valley. While dramatized, it closely follows historical events such as the Nauvoo evacuation, the treacherous crossing of the plains, and the establishment of a desert community. Dean Jagger's portrayal of Young avoids caricature, showing him as a pragmatic and determined leader. The film also doesn't vilify outsiders or turn the story into a simple good versus evil narrative. With its focus on a unique and often overlooked piece of American frontier history, and its effort to depict the Mormon journey with care and respect, Brigham Young stands out for its unusual and surprisingly accurate subject matter. Second place. The Covered Wagon, 1923. A silent film classic, The Covered Wagon portrays two wagon trains making the perilous journey westward along the Oregon Trail in the 1840s. It was one of the first westerns to aim for realism over myth, using authentic covered wagons, oxen teams, and period-accurate gear. Thousands of extras, many of them real descendants of pioneers, were used to recreate the epic migration. The filmmakers consulted historians and traveled to remote locations to ensure visual accuracy, even staging scenes under difficult weather conditions. The film captures the real challenges of the trail: starvation, river crossings, terrain, and internal disputes. It was hailed in its time as an American answer to the birth of a nation, not for ideology, but for its national scope. The Covered Wagon set the standard for historically faithful epic westerns. And in first place is The Iron Horse, 1924. Directed by John Ford, The Iron Horse dramatizes the building of the first transcontinental railroad, a true turning point in American history. It follows the parallel efforts of the Union Pacific and Central Pacific lines as they race to connect East and West, battling harsh weather, sabotage, and resistance. Filmed on location in Utah and Nevada, the production used real railroad equipment, military advisors, and even Native Americans portraying themselves. Ford aimed for authenticity in every detail, from Chinese laborers to the depiction of frontier towns growing around the tracks. The film blends fictional characters with historical figures like Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Durant, giving viewers both drama and education. With its massive scale, documentary realism, and Ford's pioneering vision, The Iron Horse remains the gold standard for historically accurate Western epics, and a fitting number one on this list. And there you have it, 20 Westerns that don't just tell a story, but bring history to life. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which film you think is the most historically accurate, or which one we should have included. Want to watch the movies from this list? You'll find links to both physical and digital copies in the video description below. Want even more? Join the channel to get early access to new videos, exclusive discounts on our merchandise, and other awesome perks. And don't forget to check out our official merch store, perfect for every Western fan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.